What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Neutral. I am Brian F., joined by the man who needs no introduction. He doesn't need it, so he's not going to get it. Cut him off the camera. See, he doesn't need it.
You know whose move this is?
I was trying to say he doesn't need it because his ego is already, twice as big as his arms there. So we should just move on to the actual content, what you guys are here for, the in-depth Street Fighter analysis.
Yes, sir.
No, actually, we need you, Rob. Do the introduction.
Yo! Today, we are about to get into top 8 of North America West. Do you know what that means? You think I'm about to say, we better see who goes to Capcom Cup. No. We are going to see that, but we about to see some salt, because that's what North America is all about, baby. You know, whoever loses, they can go on Twitter, oh my God, this character carries so hard. I'm dropping my man. I mean, I tried my best, but they just can't do it. And I tell you what, I live for it. I love it. Because I used to make those tweets when I was competing. And now I don't got to. I just get to watch all of the carnage. North America West, the best players from this region are officially the only ones left. And we are about to see who makes it into Capcom Cup. But speaking of best players, arguably the best player. Actually, okay, we got to say top 3 right now. Because we got to put Kakaroo and Angry Bird over him right now. But MenaRD, you think so? Oh, that's okay. That's the
we're
combo.
getting into it, right?
That's the combo. What's up?
Yeah, what we're referring to is MenaRD. He made this interesting tweet here talking about his top 5 players in the world right now for Street Fighter 6. He says in no order: Angry Bird, first at EVO, second at Gamers 8. Kakadu, first at Gamers 8, fifth at EVO. Big Bird, first Red Bull Kumite, fourth at Gamers 8. Punk, third EVO, third Gamers 8, third CEO. Consistency right there. Mena, first CEO, second EVO, fifth Gamers 8. And so he's opening up the conversation of who is the best in the world right now. Because we're
who's not on there, Brian? I think that's the interesting place to start. I'm trying to think who's not on there, who's in that conversation of top 5.
That's tough to say. Because we haven't. The problem with this metric right now, and the reason why it's open for such debate, is we haven't had that many world-class events right now. It's still very early in Street Fighter 6's release, right? He mentioned CEO. CEO, amazing tournament, 1,000 competitors, but that was a North American-centric event, right? EVO, finally a chance for the world to compete. But, let's be real, not everybody from Japan makes the trip over. Not everybody from highly competitive regions makes the trip over. And Gamers 8 is an invitational, which it sourced players who are really strong in Street Fighter 5 and really consistent players to play in it. And they did a good job. But once again, you're also cherry-picking players. So who's not there? From the tournaments he picked, they're all there.
They're all there. No, I think you're right. I'm looking at them. I'm trying to think about it. Mena, first at CEO, second at EVO. Fifth at Gamers 8.
Who's knocking on that door, I would say, is maybe NuckleDo.
I was thinking that same
ninth
thing.
At CEO, ninth at EVO, 7th at Gamers 8, and I believe 9th at CEO as well. He dropped out maybe 9th or 13th before top 8 for CEO after going to losers like round 2 and beating a million. Half of Florida lost to NuckleDo in that tournament, all in losers bracket. He just took out the entire state trying to make that top 8. So he's the one player I could say who's like just below that level. But it's hard to say, like players who maybe got top 8 at EVO, but not that top 6. There's like a Nemo you can talk about, a Fujimura, who also just recently had a really strong showing at the World Warrior event in Japan. So he's shown that he's fairly consistent at that level. But this is why it's so open-ended at the moment. We've had a pretty limited selection of tournaments to pull data from.
Okay, if we order in this, how are you putting it? That's even better then.
Well, listen, if you're engagement baiting, do you put an order or do you leave it open-ended?
Put an order so people could debate more.
You think so? People get more angry at you. That's better for engagement farming.
More anger,
listen,
bro.
We got that's the strats that Mena has to step up here.
Are you saying that Mena's blue check may have had something to do with this tweet?
I'm just saying, blue check leads to green check, so maybe. Potentially.
My boy Mena running them numbers up.
It is an interesting conversation. Like, this is something that has been, to Mena's credit, I was just teasing, because this is something that people have been thinking about, right? Like, with the big events that we've had, it's definitely been a topic of conversation. And for most people, we're looking at Angry Bird and Kakadu number 1 and number 2, I would say. I think that's general consensus.
In what order, Brian?
What's bigger, winning EVO or winning Gamers 8? I think winning EVO is bigger. I know you are more focused on the money. That's always been.
Don't put that on me.
You have consistently favored tournaments with bigger prize pools as being more impactful, like Capcom Cup versus Evo and things of that nature. You've consistently held that position.
What? I'm gonna say this right now. Winning Evo this year, especially, is bigger than winning Gamers 8.
Okay.
Now, I agree with you. Of course, it goes without saying if we had to choose which one we're gonna win. I pray that even the people who run Evo, who I love, will rather win Gamers 8 than win Evo. Like, as far as common sense, just off of the life-changing money. That being said, which one matters more? Oh, it's not close. And that's all due respect to Gamers 8. Evo, for sure. Bro,
okay.
7,000 human beings, that was a transition point for fighting game history, bro. That crowd with all of the lights in the air, it looked like a Michael Jackson concert, bro. Like, it was absolutely unbelievable. Like, and then after Angry Bird wins, the way he breaks down and he cried and then he goes and prays and everything. What? Like, there are certain moments in your career that it changes things forever. Angry Bird could lose the rest of Street Fighter 6. He could lose forever. And he will be invited to the next tournament, in the next one, in the next one, in the next one, forever. Your tournament, if you have an invitation you want to invite Angry Bird, what you doing? You ain't even got it at a tournament. That don't even make no sense. So that's how big that win was. Now, that being the case, as far as which one was who's better out of them, though, as far as the player, bro, I'll say this. The highest peak I have seen is what Kakeru did in Gamers 8 Grand Finals.
You're trying to judge the quality of the gameplay itself rather than just the placement. So you're saying just looking at the level of play of Gamers 8, you think that was a higher peak of gameplay than what we saw at Evo?
Finals specifically, yes. When Angry Bird and Mena had that was god. Like, they had a great match. Mena reset the bracket, everything. Like, it was phenomenal. That was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. Angry Bird played phanomenally. What we seen with those perfect parries,
that was a shutdown.
Yes, like
it was a shutout.
It reminds you like Terrence Crawford and the Earl Spence fight. Like, when there was,
of course,
you thinking it's about to be this amazing showdown. It's titans. We don't know who's gonna win. We won't want to bet money either way. And one of them just says no, like no. I'm way, and I don't think that really meant that he's way better. We're not dumb.
Just in that set on that day.
On that day, there was nothing Angry Bird.
Yeah, the Evo Grand Finals was an amazing set, and Mena's run was ridiculous, but it was definitely more of a back and forth. The entire top 8 was incredibly dynamic with all the players. You couldn't call any set, right? That entire top 8, there was miracle comebacks after miracle comebacks, and tons of exchanges and dynamic interchanges between the players, leading all the way up to the final set, to the final round, right? But the way Kakeru shut out Angry Bird after, keep in mind Angry Bird won 3-0 in Winners Finals, and then Angry Bird won the first game in Grand Finals, then lost 6 straight.
Another feather in the cap of Angry Bird, by the way, though, the fact that he beat him in that same tournament, 3-0. You know, but with that being the case, I also think that what Kakeru did, that's not sustainable. I gotta be very clear on that. I don't think that is. We are not going to see that again.
You don't think you can just get 32 perfect parries in every single grand final set you appear in?
He's a hot taker. He did that when it mattered the most. You know, shifting the conversation a little bit, Brian. I want to talk about Punk.
Consistency.
The consistency and the play style. Like, he is not playing like Kakeru, but in a different way by far. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not playing like anyone else. But it's not like a situation where he's not going to be able to keep playing like this. He's not playing Street Fighter 6.
He's playing Punk mode. This is what Punk has always done. He made it work again in Street Fighter 6. Punk has just demonstrated that he understands the neutral game, picks characters that suit playing neutral and rewards you for playing with punish heavy, reaction heavy, control heavy, and then capitalize on that to turn it to offense. He's done that time and time again in Street Fighter 5, and we're seeing it now in Street Fighter 6 to the same degree of effectiveness, right?
Yes.
Like, he hasn't yet closed out a huge win, but getting third in the 3 biggest events we've had in a row, I mean, first of all, CEO is like big. Evo blows it out of the water.
It just kept progressively.
It's big again. And then Gamers 8, bigger money than ever, and he's still there. Like, he's there no matter how you shape the event and how big the stakes are, he's been at that level this whole time. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough to gauge that.
Cammy's not even that popular at the highest level right now, bro. Like, it's not even like we see a lot of, and I think she's godlike. I think that he even said she's top tier. I'm sorry if I misquote you, Punk. But I thought I heard that somewhere before. But I mean, I think she's a very strong character. But yeah, the way he's playing it, like, he doesn't do any of the hooligan and all that stuff. He just straight playing nooch and destroying people. And then after he's on the inside, you know, when his opponent's in burnout, that's GG's. I think that's probably him and Angry Bird are probably the most exciting players for me to watch. But as far as that aesthetically pleasing neutral game, he's something else. Like, I don't see him stopping.
Yeah, he's back. He's cooking. I mean, I don't think he ever left. I don't want to say he's back. He's really cooking right now again and doing it his way. So that there's an argument for consistency. And the next player, he almost had the argument for the most consistent player in modern Street Fighter history, Mena himself. Coming off his Capcom Cup win.
He's cooking. He almost won, bro.
He almost won it all. He almost won every event.
Winning the second Capcom Cup, and then he got second in the next Evo. Like,
but even before that, he wins CEO, right? First 1,000+ man major, right? Obviously not at the level of Evo, but you know, he still showed consistency in an early meta in a major tournament that size. That is extremely impressive to do when the game is very unstable because we're still figuring out how to actually play and shut everything down. And then he goes on, he wins Gommel, another regional event, and then he goes to Evo and gets second place in the most electrifying fashion. And it took someone like the likes of Kakadu to kind of put a halt to that, and Angry Bird to finish the job. But man, he showed that he just has. He's just a gamer.
I think in Gamers 8 he got fourth.
He got fifth in Gamers 8. That's actually when Punk finally got a set over Mena.
There is no debate for Mena not being number 3 at least.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody else like in the conversation for being above Mena outside of Kakeru and Angry Bird.
And here's the one name, Tokido. That was the other guy.
Tokido was snapping at Evo.
This is the other guy.
He wasn't at Gamers 8.
He wasn't at Gamers 8 to make a case for himself. So he's the one guy who took out Kakadu and almost beat Mena. Like, he gave us set of a lifetime with that one. So Tokido would be the one person to argue
missing that you might put in.
But like we mentioned in the beginning, it's limited data right now. It's still early. So of these top 5, who do you got number 1? Right now.
No, Angry Bird. Angry Bird won Evo and got second place at Gamers 8.
Just mathematically, it adds up.
You got
Kakadu got first and fifth.
Sixth or something, or fifth,
Yeah. But man, the way he got fifth, Kakadu was by a pix. Like, I'm still flabbergasted by how.
Is that when his combo dropped?
Yeah, the Tokido moment where the combo. I'm still flabbergasted by how Kakadu lost. So like, I mean, but he still lost. We gotta just state the facts there.
But it matters though. I get what you're saying. That still matters though. I agree. Like I said, if the breeze was a little different that day, I think Kakadu would be number 1. But that's the razor thin edge right now. I would also give it to Angry Bird right now just because of that. But man, the competition is so fierce, and then Mena is just chomping on everybody's heels. Like, Mena, we're gonna see so much more from. I think he's just so clutch, and then Punk, his consistency, and then Big Bird, when he's hot that day, he's terrifying. I mean, the way I watch him win, it scares me. his Marissa, just the power and the momentum that he builds with that character is unreal. So I think we're gonna have a long season ahead of us to see who's number 1. We only have Angry Bird right now in Capcom Cup though, so we don't even know if all 5 of these people are gonna make it to Capcom Cup. I would think they would. They all have a great chance. But that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to compare this at the end of the season, who comes out on top at Capcom Cup. But definitely, Mena, good job pushing the engagement. You're cooking in game, and clearly you're cooking out of game as well. You know how to use that blue check to get that green check, as my man's Brian F said. But speaking of the best players, we're about to find out who is the best right here in NA West. We're about to find out who's going to punch their ticket into Capcom Cup.